Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and I am in the little community of McCarthy, Alaska. And it is 94 miles off of the highway that goes between Tok and Valdez. And this is pretty much just a tourist community. It's really just here for this part. It was an active town back up to, I think, the 1940s, when the Kennecott copper operation went out of business. And right behind me is the shuttle center. There is a free shuttle that goes from the parking lot to the town here, which is just about a half a mile. And then it's about 4.5 miles further to go to Kennecott. So they have a shuttle between those 3 points, because you cannot drive your car in the town. You cannot drive to Kennecott. It's only for the local traffic. So I'm going to show you around some of the little stores and buildings they have here in town. There's a jewelry store there, and then right next to that is this store called Mountain Arts, and this is a private property here. This is an interesting little gate. They used some artwork to construct this gate. I like this radiator from an old car. The propeller. But all put together, it makes for the gate they wanted. Here's the McCarthy Lodge Bistro and the new Golden Saloon. I had lunch here at the roadside Potato Head restaurant, and in McCarthy, Kennecott area, I think there are 5 restaurants. They also have a museum here. This is a big old cash register. In this case, they have the models. This is what the town looked like in its heyday. A couple of sewing machines. Lots of little things on display here. An oven, a stove, and an ice box. Washing machine and rinse tub. And one of those old radios. It's a very small but a very nice museum. I just talked to a lady who said that when Kennecott had the mining operations going, McCarthy had a population of about 300 people. And then when Kennecott operations shut down, everybody left. Nobody stayed. There was no reason to be here without the mining operations. And then I think it was in about 1980 that the National Park Service bought out the Kennecott property and turning it into what it is today. And then McCarthy started repopulating now that tourists were coming in. Some of these old homes are still being populated now by the people who work here, and I think some of them are being rented out to tourists as well. Here's one that's got some tents in it. And then right here is the McCarthy Creek. Let's go take a look at that. This is running really fast now because we've had a lot of rain lately. There's a guy bicycling across the bridge. Then in the spring, with the snow melting, it gets to a very high level. And then in the fall, it goes down to about 1/3 of this, somebody told me. And then in the winter, it's just all frozen where you can just walk across it. I wonder how many people stay here in the winter when there's no tourists No income, nothing to do. Don't know what this house is. That is Ma Johnson's hotel. McCarthy River Tours and Outfitters. You got bicycle rents and whatever type of equipment you might need for what you're doing for some of the tours that they give, or you can do things on your own here if you want. There are several other streets, but this is the main street where all the stores are. So this whole town is here strictly for tourists. And if it wasn't for the national parks doing the Kennecott operation, then nobody would be here. It would be a ghost town just like it was back in the 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s. This footbridge that goes from the parking lot over there into McCarthy was built in 2001. And over here is a vehicle bridge that was built, I think somebody told me, in 2012. And they said previous to that, the only way of getting a vehicle into McCarthy was in the winter when the river is frozen and you could just drive it right across the river. Believe it or not. How do you like this view from the middle of the river? And the other side as well. Nice view. And this is a campground right there. They actually have good cell service here, mainly because of the Park Service, and they need the communication. There's also what looks like a working payphone, although I don't see any way to pay. I'm not sure how that works. I was here once before in 1992 when there were no bridges yet built across the river. And the only way to get across the river was with this pulley system that they have, where they would put you into a basket and then you would just pull yourself across the river by just pulling overhead cable. And you can still see here the mechanism of the cable system that they had. In fact, the cable is still here that goes across the river. They left that cable here for, I guess, just memories. And there it is on the other side. And I was actually disappointed when I found out that there was no more cable trolley system where you sit in these baskets to go across, because that was kind of fun. So it's been very interesting for me to see McCarthy again and see how it's developed. The city itself, I don't even call it a city, it's really just a community. It looks about the same from what I remember, except for having the footbridge and the vehicle bridge. And the vehicle bridge is not open to tourists. It's only for people who have a special pass that live here or work here. Now the road to get into McCarthy from the highway is a very, very rough road. And what I'm going to do now is a video showing the road and the scenery along the road getting here. The scenery is pretty spectacular, so I'm going to do another video just on the road getting here. So watch that one as well. Good day, folks.